Hello, good evening, and welcome to another live stream. How are you doing, Mr. Twaddleford, belly button stuffer? You're duckified apart, we'll have to wait a bit, we haven't started yet. Welcome, live lop. Borik Wow Bagger. That's not an easy name to digest. Mr. Vedros, Nico, and everyone else who is here. How are you doing? Captain Theo, welcome, howdy. What is that for emoji? That is Caesar Clappy. Whatever the hell the Caesar is. Anyway, welcome to tonight's stream. Today we're going to play a custom scenario by someone called... Hang on, what was the name? I forgot. Driver Caldy. They made a Titanic scenario, which we'll play. You got me back into playing RCT. Are you enjoying it? I hope so. Because it's a pretty good game. And I'm always happy to get people back into this game. As happens every now and then. Oh, look at that. Thank you for the 6 months, Mr. Twaddleford. And thank you for the sub, Higlakol. I do find it very interesting to read all the names that I sometimes have no idea to pronounce. Sometimes I do. Not all of them are difficult, but sometimes it's a trip. And Higlakol is not necessarily difficult. I mean, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I can at least say it. But it's still, the GL sound is still a bit uncommon for me. Let's say that. Titanic means water, water means a lot of duck. Well, you say that. I don't know if we own any water. I haven't played this. I've only briefly seen like a screenshot of it. For some reason it's called Download RMS Titanic instead of just RMS Titanic. Don't know why, but whatever. You decided to build a replica of the Titanic into a hotel, and it took quite a loan to build. To earn back your investment, you decided to build a nice theme park with rides that are older. Okay. With enough research, you'll unlock newer and more modern rides. So interesting. This scenario, or Driver Caldy, or EVK as they're called here, I guess, started creating this scenario about 15 years ago. Never properly finished it. So most of this was at least created in RCT2 Vanilla, or at least a good part of it, I don't know necessarily most, but it was finished in OpenRCT2 recently. That's why it's a .park file, not a .sc6 file. Right. There it is. There's our hotel that we built and that cost us a lot of money. Oh, look at that, white star line, that's indeed accurate. And there's the Titanic. Would you look at that? Okay, we do own the water, so we can immediately duckify the park. That should get us a lot of ducks. Although they will, I think, swim in the Titanic a lot. I don't believe ducks care about stuff that's on the water. Like, yeah, they're there. I don't think they care about things like scenery. Although, actually, this is land. Look, there's land there. I was confused why there were no ducks here in the middle, but that's because there's land, and this is not wide enough for ducks to spawn. So if we see through, yeah, that's just land under there. No water. But we can still get ducks. This theme park is unsinkable. Well, if it's on land, then you gotta do something damn wrong to sink it. Okay, what do we actually own? Where's our park boundary? Oh, our park is massive. Oh, hang on. Oh, we own this bit, and then on the water we own the Titanic. Right? Yes. So our park is massive. What's our goal? I believe it's a park value goal, if I remember correctly. Yes, 250k. That's not much. Guests are harder to attract, I know that. Let's see if we can 10-tuple that park value. Also repay the loan. Ah, there's a difficulty. 500,000. How about we build a park with 2.5 million park value? That's even higher than the previous park value park we did. In a park that is, well, it's still quite big. Yeah, sure, we can do that. So, let's start. Oh, wait, all the rides. We have a ton available. I guess they're kind of wooden rides and small steel rides. The Tommy gun ride, yes. Well, why is that not connected? I guess to make sure that guests don't immediately get lost all over the faff. Well, I don't care about them getting lost. Ha. Okay, actually, to help us out, hang on, first RMS Titanic, sure. I want to get some plugins. Plugin. Yeah, we'll get, what will we get? Live ride measurements is always fun, isn't it? We'll get the price manager, might use it. Softcast cap calculator, park rating inspector. What else is there? Yeah, calculator. Yeah, that ought to do it. Just a quick save and load. I just saved, didn't I? Oh, I saved in the wrong folder. Hang on, let me move that. So, hang on, we'll save in the correct folder now. And I'll delete the one in the wrong folder. I don't want any trash in my filming parks folder. Yeah, there is a lot of rides already unlocked. Although I do have the group by ride type off. You know, that makes quite a difference. Because there's 5 wooden coaster trains that we have. 6, even. And there's also 2 wooden wild mice trains. So that does make it seem like it's a lot more than it actually is. Same, yeah, about how you can do that too. I kind of like having them not grouped by ride type, because that's an open thing. RST2 always did it like this. Which, on the one hand, gives a lot of clutter. So I get why OpenRST2 did it. It's a lot simpler, and it's a lot easier to see what's going on. But on the other hand, I quite like seeing a lot of rides. So both options are useful. Oh, thank you, Annie, for the 26 months. Okay, we'll start with a roller coaster. Ah, there are all them guests. What do we charge for, actually? Rides. Okay, do we have a cash machine? Yes, we do. Okay. This time I will use the price manager. Just cause money. I want to make so much money, I can buy the actual goddamn Titanic myself. Shop management. The total price we don't need, because I can do that myself. Can we charge for the entrance as well? Is it? No, it was made in RST2, then you can't do. Well, it could have been changed. Either way. Someone's looking at it. Idiot. Now he's looking at nothing. Use the alternative train types. You never had them available. Good point. Although, this one does not have an alternative train type. But we can do that for the other rides. Do we have ads available? Yes, of course we do. Hang on, are we going 60 here? Oh, we're still on SI units from the last stream. Not 1.7 meters a second, but 6 kilometers an hour. That's better. Okay, yes, we are going 60 here. This should solve that. Also, Nico, you asked about being unbanned from my server, right? Because you were at your Oh, we can't increase the loan. Hang on. Because you had your Discord's account hacked and spammed stuff. Well, you didn't, but, you know, the person who hacked it. You have been unbanned, from my server at least, not any else, because I don't own any other servers. But you can access it again. Just, you know, be careful. Okay, so we can't... I need to sell this. I need to make money. Hang on, what's a good gentle ride? I believe the spirals... Well, the maze, but maze is overpowered. I believe spiral slide's pretty good. You know, got a good throughput. And with a price of 760, that's pretty alright. Nice Titanic boat, thank you, I didn't make it. People are already getting stuck here. Well, that's of my own doing. But yeah, it's a pretty nice Titanic. Oh look, there's some ducks. They are going to fly through the Titanic. Look. They're currently going down, and soon they'll phase through it to get to their landing spot. There we go. Looks totally healthy. The observation tower can get pretty good excitement, but so can a pirate ship. Oh, I don't have the cash. Alright, we're paying pretty high loan interest. 6,000 a month. Yeah. I may need to restart. I could, of course, destroy this stuff. Let's see how much that cash that gives me. But I don't really wanna. Yeah, I mean, that gives me like 15k. But I don't want to destroy that stuff. Can I destroy the Titanic as well? How much does that give? 80k in total. But as I said, I don't want to destroy that stuff. Although, where does the path all go? Oh, that's pretty bad pathing. Why is there invisible path there? Oh hey, welcome, awfully farfully. I am currently in debt. I'm not doing well. I probably need to restart, but welcome to my stream. We are playing a Titanic scenario. Where I didn't make this, but someone did, and they built Titanic, and now I have to build a theme park around it. We've only just started, although I say we have just started. We're soon due our second interest payment from this month. And it's gonna, yeah. We're not gonna get out of debt here. So let's restart. Now we now know what we need to do. But yeah, welcome. I do Roller Coaster Tycoon games and well, I would say and stuff, but not really true. I play Roller Coaster Tycoon. That's about it. Expert Parks, it's here. So 6,000. If we don't want to destroy anything, hang on, this is not gonna be easy. So I'm gonna turn on immediately the price manager, just to help us. We start with 10k. I'm going to start with this thing. Just because that thing is actually properly good. And will make us a ton of money. And of course still a merry-go-round, because music. And an ice pillar. From which money though? From which money? What money, I should say. I don't have any money currently, so that's not gonna happen. Oh, whoops. Can we have ice colored balloons? Ice colored balloons then, yes. There we go. Yeah, keep pressing the wrong button. Yes, I do indeed play a huge variety of games called All Roller Coaster Tycoon. Although the things I do in this game are sometimes very varied. Very varied. Let's drink some water. How are you doing, Awfully Farfully? What were you doing? Considering you say you were tortured with the RCT Carnival music, probably not Roller Coaster Tycoon. Okay, I quite like that one. Ooh, it even stacks nicely up on there. Pooknell has been advertising this game for me relentlessly. Ah, now that's someone whom I know. Playing shoot 'em ups. What kind of game? Will I ever have heard of it? Okay, now this should make us the required 6k a month. That we need to not go into debt. Although I will build another ride. There we go. That ought to do it. Thank you for the 15 months, Trish. Plays Bullet Hells like 2 Who or recently Gunbird 2. Yeah, I've never heard of it. I didn't expect it to. I don't know that many of those kinds of games. Okay, we've got a little bit of money. We can do the spiral slide. And because this exit path now has 2 exits on it, guests are... Oh, that's all Dirkling stuff. Guests can easily go into it. So, a no entry sign. Let's actually do a tier 1. Consider this. Pooknell made me listen to this OST during high octane gameplay. I don't know what high octane gameplay exactly is, but listening to this is never a punishment. But how about Fairground Organ Style 2? Now that's different. Now the double deck carousel is pretty good actually. Because it's got a capacity of 32 passengers. I believe it can actually do it should be able to do very good numbers. Right? At least like 1200 an hour. No, I think the merry-go-round does like 500. But this one probably does like 800, 900. Still no one wants to ride it. What do you mean? People are going on it en masse. Okay, we're doing pretty well so far. Alright, see ya, awfully fawfully. That's just a fun name to say. The set was included by OpenRCT as part of that future open asset park. You mean this music? Or do you mean the Dirkling scenery? By the way, the Dirkling scenery is just normal stuff but recolorable, so you can have pink trees, if you wish to. Which are horrendously ugly. Or black trees if we want to reflect my soul. Ah, the music, yes. I was there actually when some, not these songs, but some other songs got recorded. Which I'm not sure are in the game, but yet. Well, that was a few years ago already. But we saw the very original fairground organ that actually played the songs, the default merry-go-round songs that we all know. They were played by some fairground organ, and I saw that one, and I even heard one of the songs played on it. Now, I want options, because I think my... Let's make over 30 minutes again. I need to make a bird report about this. Oh, I need to do, hang on. There we go, 20. That'll help. And more advertising. Now that we can afford it. Why don't you ever show your face in your videos? Just because there's no need to? Like, it's a gameplay video. There's no need for my face. Also, yeah, let's duckify the park again. What's the goal? 250k park value and payback loan. Music is recorded. I thought it was synthetic. Nope. Okay, so this is where the ducks are gonna be, in this bit and that bit and on the other side as well. Have we sunk the Titanic yet? No. It's on land. We can't sink it. Also, it's a replica. So we're not gonna sink it anyway. Okay, time to expand a little bit. I'll expand all the way this way, just to make it harder on myself. We'll do the balloons as well. All icy. How's your YouTube videos doing these days? Well, I mean, still makes a living. So that's pretty good. Oh yeah, I should do umbrellas, good point. And some icy blue here. Road to drop, launch free fall. Yes, I shall build them as soon as I have them available. But I think we're fine. I think we've gotten past that initial hurdle. I mean, it's half April. We've already made 4,000 in profits plus a bunch of shop sales. So that's a bit incidental because of the rain, of course, but still. The rain also meant we made less from ride tickets, probably. Okay, how's this one doing? Yeah, 768 an hour. That's pretty good. What about the cash machine? I mean, the guests aren't going broke anytime. Well, I mean, pretty soon. Oh, this one's got 100 spawned with, so that's pretty rich. It's just scenario options. 100, that's the second lowest. So yeah, 90 to 120, so they're pretty good. So I'm working on a project where I am collecting all the data about every single scenario. And I mean everything. No, not literally everything, of course, but... I'm going to collect so many different variables from all 160 scenarios that have ever kind of officially been released. And it's going to allow me, as when I publish it others, to just easily look things up. For example, there was a recent video, well, recent, I think about a year old or so, where I looked at kind of something with difficulty options, and I didn't know which scenarios had which difficulty options, and I thought there weren't any that had harder park rating, because I looked wrong on the wiki. There were some. I said there weren't, and people in the comments corrected me. As they should. But also, I don't want that to happen again. So I am in the process of collecting all the data ever. And it is a lot of data. There's nothing here yet, because I'm automating it, and I'm currently right now writing the code to extract all that from the game. So this will just immediately be filled once the code is done. But you know, there's the simple things like scenario goal, there's all the financial options, there's all the guest options, which like hunger and thirst, initial hunger and thirst and stuff like that. The difficulty options, which I was talking about. Then you got the park statistics, like how many guests are in the park, what's the soft guest cap when you start, what's the rating, the value, the company value, whether it's open or closed. Rides, you know how many attractions are in the park, how many of those are closed, how many of those are rides, and then the 6 sub things. Same with staff, you know, what are the colors, which rides and scenery themes and items, how many are available, and then how many are researchable. A lot of statistics about the map, like the size, the climate, the watercolor. How many terrain and edge colors it uses, what's the lowest and the highest point, how many water tiles, how many entrances. Also about the scenery in the park, so how many scenery items are there, how many large, small, etc. And then path, you know, what kind of additions and how many path tiles. And how big is your park, what kind of ownerships do you have, and that kind of stuff. What about total profits from selling all rides and path? That's gonna be harder to automate, I think. I'm not sure if that's gonna be easy to automate. But I'll see. I don't think that's gonna happen though. Anyway, we made 8,400 profit. That should do it. We do that in a month. Funny fact, you guys said I had no exit on my go-karts, which is true. But that's totally fine until it breaks down. But obviously, in the few minutes since I've built it, it hasn't broken down yet, so it hasn't been a problem at all. We're still charging only $2 for this because we don't have the stats yet, although they will soon come in. Soon being now. I thought they'd come in when the first car finished, but... Oh, there we go. 5 excitement. What did that translate to here? Once this updated, 1860. Those long cars turning on a tiny corner looks kind of ridiculous. People have been talking about these getting kind of stuck. So maybe we'll see them get stuck. I don't use them very often or really at all, so I've never seen that. Which is of course all the more reason to finally, for once, use them. As someone said, forgive me, I've forgotten who, that I should use the weirder cars that I don't often have available. Because I never use them, and I now have the chance. With a hack way, maybe you could script it, like run a park, tell the game to use the cell tool and calculate the difference in finances. Okay, so how I'm currently doing it, and I won't be showing this because it's very not nice to look at, but Magi made a title sequence for me. It was Magi, right? Hang on, I don't want to say the wrong name, so I'll... Yes, that was Magi. Made a title sequence for me that goes through all 160 parks. And the game loads them and you can actually extract all the data from it. Which I've all coded myself, well not done yet, but I'm coding that all myself. But then you can't do any kind of scenery removal stuff. Because it's just going through them all very, very quickly. And I'm not going to show this because, as I said, it's very unpleasant to look at. But basically there is this title sequence that he gave me called Test Load All Original Parks. And it goes through them like 10 per second. Which of course, it flashes a lot. And I don't have any epilepsy and I find it not pleasant to look at all. Like, it even annoys me a bit. And I don't have any issues with that. But yeah, you can't really do anything to the parks when you do that. But the nice thing is that I just have to run that. It'll take just a few seconds to go to all 160 parks. Then I can just copy paste the output I got in my console. Split it. And then it'll work, it'll all be fine in the Google Sheets file that I just showed you in the spreadsheet. So it's a really easy thing. It's a really easy way to do it. Well, the hard way is getting all the stuff to actually print. For example, I wanted to print, that's what I'm currently stuck at, the colors of the staff. And so then you first have to get the color of the staff that's currently selected in the park, which is not very difficult. But you can't just print a color, because a color is not a string. It's not a word. So then there is luckily a function in the color class that says color to string or something like that. That gives you the string of the color that's associated with it. The problem is that's not a normal string as you usually see in programming, but a U8 string. Apparently an 8-bit string, I'd never heard of it, and googling it doesn't really help me in trying to convert it to a normal string that I can print. So I created my own function that returns a string instead of a U8 string. But currently right now the problem is that like, I tried to build it, it gave some error on the capitalization thing that I tried to do. That was right before the stream started. So I didn't have time to fix it yet. Does the name of the park affect the amount of guests that spawn that enter the park? Why would it? U8 string is just a bunch of bytes. I don't know. I read about it and people basically said it's stupid. Online. I don't know why the OpenRCT team used it. They probably had a good reason. Like, I don't know anything about it. I hardly know C++, which is the language I'm doing this in. I'm having to look up a lot. I've started to learn how to use vectors to count the terrain edges. There's probably an easier way to do that, to count the amount of terrain colors and edges, but I don't know. Now I'm learning quite a lot of stuff about the OpenRCT2 code. Like how to get certain stuff, like how I got the climate name and stuff like that, and how to get like object indices and all that kind of stuff that I need to do. Currently, I'm also in the part of iterating through all the elements. I've done all the surface stuff. So basically, the game is just iterating, let's say from this corner, like line by line by line by line by line, all the way through the other corner. And then I'm going through over every single surface and then seeing whether it's a high point or a low point, or whether it has water on it, and they increase the amount of water tiles by 1, and you know, all that kind of stuff. Worst foot award. Oh, that doesn't help. Do we get that? Yes. I got that last stream as well. And the stream before that too. My feet are not doing particularly well, apparently. U8 strings are the default in C, because chars are a single byte. Right. Hey, thank you, Nissa, for the 30 months. Okay, let's make sure we can't get the worst feet award again. A different style. No, I think it just looks at foot styles, not drink stalls. Burger bar food? No, we were selling just donuts. So I don't think Homer Simpson was in charge of giving us that award. Oh, we can't call it a fire. Or did I just have the wrong... No, we can. I just had the wrong object. Oh, we don't have the money. Whoops. Purple fire! Fire! The begin whooping dance of the dead. Blackened in the end. Well, purpled in the end. You can also do black fire. Or green fire. Oh, that's the wrong one. They all can look very cool. I should do some path additions. Also, someone said, who was that? That was Nico. When he said everything, I was not expecting literally everything. Well, the reason I started doing this was because I wanted to know which scenarios require the least amount of guests per year. So, for example, Forest Frontiers is 250. You got 1 year, that's 250 a year. Leafy Lake is on that basis kind of easier, because you got 3 years for 500 guests, which is 167 guests per year. And I thought, you know, I need to go through all the scenarios and get like kind of a list going, and because that'll be fun. Because I wanted to make a video on what's the easiest scenario in the game. And I wanted to know that for it. And I had in my head Metropolis as well, which is 1100 in 5 years. Which is less than Forest Frontiers per year. Although, you know, with 220 instead of 250. That doesn't mean it's easier, but, you know, it's a nice thing to include in the video. That kind of spiraled out of control. Pretty soon I was like 35 variables that I was going to include. Then I asked, you know, got a few more. Then I asked in the OpenRST2 server yesterday evening, and we got to like 70 variables. And then this morning I added like a whole bunch more, and now we're at 101 variables. For a 160 scenario, that's more than 16,000 data points. So that's a lot of data points, which is very cool. But it also means I haven't worked on videos for like the past 2 days. Because I've all been working on writing the code to extract all this, which is very time consuming for me because I need to learn how to do it all. And it's good that I'm learning it, because it'll help me with some future projects, I'm sure. But it also means that the video on the easy scenario will have to wait. While you can compare the difficulty of scenarios by their stats, if all of one scenario's stats are easier or harder than the others, if some are hard and some are easy, you need to do trade-offs. Yeah, it's not like this is the easiest scenario. I mean, well, I think there's an answer to the easiest scenario, but it's not gonna be like a definitive ranking, of course. But when you do a question like that, you look at a variety of different things and see how it works and what you can get from it. And ultimately, it's a bit of entertainment as well, right? You just analyze the game from a bunch of different things. But the funny thing is, now that I'm gonna have all that data, which is, let me reiterate, more than 16,000 data points, I can probably make more videos about it. Maybe just a general video called I analyzed... Oh, I don't want to go through the scene here. Just a general video called I analyzed all 160 Roller Coaster Tycoon scenarios. Just something like that could potentially be fun. I'm worried that it might be slightly aimless. And that maybe that's why people would maybe click as much, but... I mean, I've been wrong on that kind of stuff before, so... Who knows, might do that. There's probably loads of interesting things to learn about it. For example, which scenario has the most path outside of the park? You know, stuff like that. You see empty queue lines, you need cash machines badly. I can't build any at the moment though, but we're making plenty of money. So that'll probably help. I think a few people will probably already have left. Yeah. So that'll help, but not strictly necessary in order to make money. Also, there's one objectively easiest scenario. It's Prison Island. I disagree. Although that's certainly gonna be... Like, the thing about Prison Island is that it doesn't have a fail condition. I would say that for most people, generally, especially if you don't know that much about the game, maybe you don't know how good pre-builds are, Sherwood Forest is easier. Holy crap. Holy crap! 26, 28, 29. Look at them all using it. You are right that, well, I mean, needed, as I said, it's not strictly necessary for me to make money, but it's helpful. Well, I had forgotten about it a bit. Already 50 people. How difficult would scenarios be if you weren't allowed to build any queue path tiles? Would it be any different? Can I direct you to a video I made called Can You Beat Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 Without Building Path? Ow, bit my tongue. Without building path. I beat Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, well, the original 21 scenarios, without building any path. Not even just queue line, any. And I didn't do it in OpenRST 2. No, I actually did it in the original game. It's the only video I've ever made that's fully made in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. Except, I think, maybe the very final shot in the outro. Are we at 100 already? Yes, that's 5,000 bucks. No, 6,000 already now. Advertising, yeah, that's not one currently either. Should do that. Oh yeah, I also beat it without advertising. I beat Roller Coaster Tycoon without building path and advertising at the same time. The advertising wasn't originally part of the plan, but then I accidentally beat Forest Frontiers, which was obviously the first one, without advertising, and I was like, well, might as well do it without advertising, see if I can. You know, one thing I'm really happy about is that it's a roller coaster... crap. It's a roller coaster tycoon 1 video. So, it's kind of, you know, will it work, will it not work? But it worked. It did incredibly well. And I'm very happy about that. Then I did another video, which did even better, about beating Roller Coaster Tycoon without guests ever going on the rides. Where I didn't literally do every scenario, but I did prove that all 146 normal scenarios, which will be 147 now after the discovery of Taiwan Park, but all 146 normal scenarios were doable. And I proved that by doing kind of one of every type that was questionable. And be like, well, if you can do this, then you can also do those. That video is on like 600,000, maybe 500,000, something like that. It's 50 minutes long. I think it's my best earning video. We're talking about making money. Let's just see. It's a shame I can't sort by revenue. Well, I can in some way, but not... I have to click through a bunch of that. But I can sort by views in my thing, and I know you're not seeing this right now. It's 615,000 views. Oh, maybe 4,800 euros. Not bad for 3 weeks of work. I thought this was gonna do... Oh, I had on shop price management. There we go. I thought it was in the photo as well. Now it will do the photo. I do have another video like that as an idea, which is beating Roller Coaster Tycoon without staff. The problem I worry is that it's not going to be interesting enough because it'll be too simple. But maybe I just should make it anyway. If it's too simple, it could just be an easy video for me to make, right? Without staff, it's just delete and rebuild broken down rides. Well, the interesting thing, of course, is that you... To make it interesting, you would then also not allow you to do any of the jobs of the staff. Otherwise, it's really... Like, that's the thing about it being too easy, right? You can just do the jobs yourself. Replace Pukey Path and... just delete and rebuild the rides. But if you're not allowed to do that either... And if anything, it's... more, because I've got several of those videos and they're kind of two kinds, right? There's the you're not allowed to go on the rides video and the no path video, where I prove that literally every single one is possible, and I go over every scenario. Or you've got the one where it's I have the worst luck possible, and I just kind of play a few scenarios and see what happens. You know, guests explode when they have bad thoughts. I did that one as well. I like that. The no staff definitely feels like the former, where I would need to show that every scenario is possible. But could, of course, still go for a bit of a combination. You know, just start with a random scenario, see what happens, and then after that go through all of them, see if they're all possible. Maybe you could make a video about beating RCT with just tracked rides with no microcoasters. Well... But, like, that's boring. Like, it's not boring to beat the game that way, of course not, but it's fun, but... That's just playing the game. Like, tracked rides are the strong type of ride. Well, Corald, it's the UI string is not just a string, because when I put it in my C out, which is the way you print things in C++, it didn't print. It did not give an error, but it also didn't print. So it's different. I even made it a string. I had like std string is, you know, color to string color, and then printed that string. It still didn't print. What about beating RCT blindfolded? That doesn't work in a point and click game all that well. There's one scenario I can beat blindfolded with a few attempts. That's Robin Hood. Sherwood Forest, that one of those names. Because you can do that one with 3 clicks. So that's not particularly difficult to just get right eventually if you try it a million times. But like all the ones where you have to click, I'll just show you. I'll try building a merry-go-round now. Let's see. I know exactly where my cursor is. I'll try building a merry-go-round. Where's my R key? Is that it? Let's see. That should be Z. I think. Yeah, I think that's. No, that's not Z. Q. Yeah, that pauses the game. That's Q. Yeah, then we got scenery, path, right. Oh crap! On which side is it? I don't even know on which side of the screen my rides are. Plus, probably on the left side. That's where it goes. Am I on gentle rides? I don't know. Let's try to click on gentle rides. I'm not clicking on anything. I thought I was trying to build a ride, but you know, it's on the bottom right. I've built path. That didn't work. I just had my eyes closed and it But you know, I now have it open. I know it's on gentle right. I have my eyes closed. Let's try to build a double-deck merry-go-round. I just need to move my mouth a bit to the left, a bit down. Okay. I can build it here. Okay, it's built. Well, look at that. I actually built one. Roughly in the correct position, but I didn't know where I built these two, the exit and entrance buildings, because yeah, they don't make a noise when you build them. So I didn't know that I'd even built them. Will the stagecoach Woody? Now that's a good idea. We are actually starting to have some money. One thing we definitely cannot do on this ride is a steep chain lift. Because them cars be damn short. And damn ugly. No, I know they can't help it, but still. We have a splatter wash. Yes. We can include that, but not at the beginning. Well, we can include it here. Because we can gain some more speed after that. You know, these are not too terrible. They don't lose, you know, they have some weight. Obviously, they lose speed more quickly than standard cars, but They're not like mini suspended cars or even wild mouse cars. Though I should check their weight. Let's just see what it is. Hey, thank you for the 52 months, Piscary. Oh, and we're out of money. Well, let's check some weights then. No, hang on, need another plug-in. Open RST2. Plug-in storage. There's my right vehicle editor. There it is. Save, load. Okay, right vehicle editor. If we take the 2160, that's pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy. If we compare that to the wild mouse. 0. I doubt that. I doubt that it's 0. Oh, vehicle 1 is 0. 421, and that's with guests. So, now without guests, it's going to be like 120 or so less. Well, let's see, it'll change soon. Yeah, 300. The other one's 2100, that's 7 times as heavy. Like a full train is still heavier, sure, but these cars are pretty heavy and therefore keep their speed pretty well. In fact, they seem like weirdly heavy. 2100? That's gotta be the heaviest car in the game. Surely. Surely, right? No other car should be that heavy. It's ridiculous, how I think of it. Get over. It won't work. We ain't got space for that. Well, that's not the problem. We can just put it here, do that, and then go down. It's 95 degrees here in hamburgers. 35 degrees Celsius. That's pretty hot. Decade 5 Park. Yes. I shall. Oh, look at that. They're actually currently leaving. Look at all them ducks. And there's them new ones. Okay, time for a marketing campaign. More marketing. But we're still not rich. Well, look at this cash machine. It's already had nearly 500 users. You want some of my feels like 37 degrees weather, Marcel? No! No, please, no, God. Keep it to yourself. It's way too hot. I don't need that. What are we researching? We got go-karts for go-karts. No, no way. Red trees. Well, yeah, we can do anything. We can even make them properly red. Look at that. We can make a tree rainbow. Where shall we put it? How about inside here? So we start with the red. Like the color. Can we color this? Only kind of. We'll do white at the bottom. Yeah, I want brighter yellow. This green looks better. Look, it's a rainbow tree! Name the one US state that doesn't mandate seat belts. New Jersey. New Jersey is the crazy state, so it's probably gonna be New Jersey. Or is it Colorado? Or Oklahoma? And we can put flower beds. Rainbow flower beds as well. Let's see, we got 7 spaces here. Should probably make it actually rainbow then. It's New Hampshire, is it? I did know there was one. That's a fact I'd heard before. But I had no idea which. Why on earth wouldn't New Hampshire do that though? Like, it's stupid to not wear it. Montana was the last to put in speed limits everywhere. But to be fair, Germany hasn't got around that either, and Germany's fine. I've driven on the Autobahn in Germany. You can go pretty fast there, although I have not driven in cars that are powerful enough to take full opportunity of that. They have full advantage of that opportunity. Since when were credits added to coaster types? I don't know. But scenery items have it too. Let's see, this one was made by... Oh, I thought they had it. Apparently they don't. The credits are, I think, then at least in the object selection. Yeah, this is all Frontier Studios. Yeah, Fidwell says very bottom right. I didn't know this was made by Fidwell. Look, we're actually starting to make good money now. Good money is going to be useful when we want to build stuff and or pay back the loan. Although, as I said, I do plan to get just a massive park value here. Because I'm in the mood to build a massive park. Probably do. With one there too. It's not directly opposite, but close enough. Thank you for the sub, Umaga. Sorry. Titanic as in big. I don't know why I immediately jumped to Titanic as in the boat. There is a boat! There is the boat! It's there all along. It's just a bit outside of our range still, currently. I love that you were like, I thought it was the Titanic, but apparently not. And no, it is. This is the park. We just haven't gotten there yet. I didn't make this, by the way. No credit to me. All credit to I keep forgetting the name. It was in my Discord server. Driver Caldy. But yeah, holy moly Titanic. Why is there a Dutch flag there? The Titanic Liverpool. Liverpool's not in the Netherlands. Last time I checked. What does it say there? Titanic. I like the way that used the blue to indicate no light there, and the yellow to indicate the lights are on, which is pretty cool. Can we drown guests near the boat? Yes. Okay, what are the stats of this bastard? 592758458. It's quite short, but wait, harder gas generation is on, right? Well, our soft gas cap doesn't really matter because we're gonna go past that anyway, so we don't need to worry about long rides. After these end, which is very soon, I'm going to go for the 12 weeks for the first time. With enough sea reclamation, Liverpool can be in the Netherlands though. Yes, then we can be the home country of the Beatles. Drowned that one girl carrying a red balloon. I think there's more. I think I saw originally 2 girls buying that balloon. There's one of them. Number 189. Well, have a fun trip. Cosplaying as Jack. And dying. Goodbye. Ah, the good old 12-week ad that I don't need to replenish every 5 seconds. We got normal go-karts now available. Are these stuck yet? No, but they do look quite ridiculous going through those tiny turns. Like, not even tiny turns, micro turns when they're on the inside. Okay, so what is the throughput? Oh, we don't have this on 5. I was wondering what the throughput is when this is on 5. Oh, and suddenly they're all inside. Oh no, it was dropped in value and wasn't changed yet or something. I don't know. Either way, it's fine now. They suddenly all didn't want to pay, apparently. But the price is fine again. Would you park on the boat? Well, originally I was gonna do something like that, you know, just kind of build all around. But then it turned out the money situation was difficult, and I had to actually do stuff properly, which is why we have a park like this. We'll get to the Titanic eventually. I can promise you that. Wait. I thought these were cheats only. Apparently not. Well, the steep ones still are. I really thought that the slope turns on the go-karts were like only if you had the old rollable track piece turns enabled, but well, I don't have that enabled and I can't do them, so that's odd. Maybe there's sprites for these now? How is this map related to the Titanic? There you go. I hope that answers thy question. Let's make this a bit better color than green. How about some brown? Ah, it's pretty good. And to make it really easy to see where everyone is, we'll make all the cars brown. Now it's easy to follow. When they all have an icy blue shirt, it'll be especially easy to follow. So let's sell. No, not ornamental. I see. I see. I see. I see. Ah, I see. I think I sold one orange shirt. These here as well. Is this on 1,000 yet? No, but it's close with 845. That's some good water. Thank you for hydrating me. Again, 0. Damn, these benches are big. When you buy a t-shirt for a place, do you wear the t-shirt at the place or you wait until you're not at the place to wear the t-shirt? I mean, if I'm somewhere, like a concert, and I would buy a t-shirt, well, that would usually only be after the concert anyway, but I don't immediately put it on. I'm not going into, like, a bathroom to put it on or something. Because I'm definitely not taking off my shirt in the middle of the merch buying area. And if I would buy a t-shirt at a theme park, which probably wouldn't do, but if I would, then I would probably just wait until home and later to wear it. We're getting Italian. Why are we getting the 3 million different twists? I want something different than twist number 3 million. We also got 5 different miniature railways. At least these are almost all different. But they're also gentle rides, so they're not particularly good. I went to see Gorillaz live August, and when I got a t-shirt there, I managed to do the whole change shirt without exposing myself trick. Right, if I would do that, I would just not bother and go into like a bathroom. Not necessarily a stall, just the bathroom itself is probably fine, like the sink area. How about a wild mouse? Did you pay some money? I'd already paid 10k, but I can pay some more. How about we put it here? Depending on temperature, I could just wear 2 t-shirts. True. Could do that as well. That's why I really like the hardcore scene, because nobody cares if you change your shirt and you'll definitely get a compliment about the shirt you just bought. I mean, I'm in the metal scene. I don't think many people... I mean, it depends a bit. If you're going like... There are definitely places where people wouldn't mind. Other places, I'm like, they would probably mind a bit. But I just don't want to do it myself, you know. I'm conscious enough about my body to not want to do that. And then of course women are an entirely different story, because they have other reasons to not want to change in public. Does it make that? I'm not entirely sure, you know. I like the way this looks from this angle. Oh, easily. It's still weird how sometimes I'm like, does it make that? And then it makes it incredibly easily, while other times it doesn't make it and I don't clock that beforehand. All the gigs I've been to, I rarely saw anyone shirtless somehow, though I did see a guy drinking straight vodka from a water bottle. Yeah, I mean, I've not been to that many gigs, but I don't really recall seeing anyone shirtless either. At the few, like, concerts I've been to. Which are heavy metal concerts, usually. But there's of course different kinds of metal. You know, I've been to Nightwish 3 times, and Nightwish is not generally take your shirt off kind of music. What's the name of that roller coaster? It don't got none. Well, Steel Wild Mouse 1 technically, but it don't got no custom name. Name it Hot Wet Farts. Why? Seriously, why? It's a dope name. I guess. Guess I can name it that. If someone doesn't like it, they can rename it with the Channel Point reward thing. I will not color it accordingly. Hang on, did I just recolor it to a different default color scheme? Because I'm pretty sure this is a default color scheme, right? Hang on. Or is that just a Flying Dutchman? No, that's gotta be a default color scheme. Where is it? Why is it not? Yeah, there it is. I just recolored it to a different default color scheme. Okay, no more. I think the funniest thing about live gigs, I saw a few bands, idols included. What are idols? In one day, who play quite hardcore songs and often have mosh pits. All the mosh pits were the most friendly and safe space in the entire area. Yeah, I've been in a mosh pit. I've gone down in a mosh pit and I got picked up again pretty immediately. Mosh folks are nice. I've been on the edge of a mosh pit as well, just kind of keeping people from getting involved if they didn't want to and stuff. Oh, the Dragon Force concert. Okay, how about we actually build the Italian police car ride we just researched? I think we might need some more handyman mechanics. Oh, they can still come deal with it. Is it possible to have recolorable path ornaments? I don't know. I've never made custom scenery. I don't think I've ever seen a recolorable path ornament. None of these are recolorable. So maybe not. But yeah, I don't know. If there's anything with like custom scenery, then there's a very good chance that je ne sais pas. I like the color of the balloons, they look like ice. Yes, that's the point. Once we've sold enough balloons, we're going to sink the Titanic. Same go, you know, what helps as well is shirts and hats and umbrellas. Pride trees. Oh yeah, we have a rainbow of trees. If you take the P of pride and the end of trees, you get peas. This is peas. Which doesn't really get the message across, but it's funny. Why do we have 2 of some of these? Oh, the TKSO version 1 and version 2. Okay. Those trees look so candy-like. Yeah, they're pretty much cotton candy, aren't they? We shall build a maze. Can we build the entrance? I'll build a custom one because that'll make it easier to shape. Can we build the entrance like opposite a crowded... Does that work? Yes. Now it's opposite a kind of busy path. So loads of people will go in it. Yeah, that doesn't make a difference. 16 to 32. It's not like we're ever gonna have 16 people in there. They exit fast enough. Rename the Italian twist to La Polizia. I've seen La Polizia. There's also the Carabinieri, and I still don't really know what the difference is. Isn't it better to have sort of an L design corner to make like this? Yeah, I should probably, yeah, for optimum design I should do that corner there up, but it doesn't really matter. Ta-da! Scenery! Awful scenery. How about... Random lamp, searchlight, sure. Why not? Boy, we're on Route 66 with hot, wet farts. Carabinieri are the military police. Ah. Well, sometimes I saw them standing around with the normal polizia. And it didn't seem to do anything different, but it's kind of like the most you say in the Netherlands, I guess, then. Okay, how about we build a dinghy slide through this? Hello Duvel, welcome. Just some roofs so they don't crash. Why did you keep the double wide path? I mean, looks nice, don't it? Not everything needs to be about optimization. And the thing is, a double wide path like this doesn't really matter. Because my paths are good enough anyway, so that guests don't get lost. So that's not the thing I have to worry about. Not even sure if it will make this hill. It will. The tricky thing with wide paths, double paths, is that sometimes they can absolutely ruin you in places where normal paths would not have ruined you. But on the other hand, if you design your park well, then double paths will be fine. It's kind of like not wearing your seatbelt. If you get into an accident, you will regret it. If you don't get into an accident, then not wearing your seatbelt doesn't really do anything. It'll make it maybe slightly more uncomfortable if you have to brake hard one time, you know, it might be a bit less comfortable because you don't have a seatbelt, but you're not gonna be in big trouble. But if it goes wrong, aka you crash, then you're screwed. And OpenRST2 does handle them a lot better than vanilla, although these double paths should not be a problem in vanilla anyway either. That's RST2 though we're speaking about. RST1 is a completely different story. Alright, there we go. That's a connection. Okay, how difficult it's going to be to keep these apart. Hey Marcel, how many months am I a sub? 69. They're almost all 6, 7. I knew it was one of the two. But hello Max, thank you for the 6, 7 subs. Months. I almost did it right. Almost all of these are now icy blue shirted as well, so they're going to be harder and harder to distinguish. But how you doing, Max? How's Copenhagen? Or are you back home already? Please twist my neck 270 degrees after that. Hey, you started it. You've only got your blame. You only got yourself to blame. If you die after this, you've just committed suicide. Because you've told me to do that. You're in Copenhagen still. How is it? How is the bicycling infrastructure? Are you cycling? Did you get a cycle? Probably not, but I do wonder how the cycling infrastructure actually is there. Traffic jam on Dinghy Slide 1. Yay! One of the full ones caught up to the empty ones then. Oh, you did get a bike. It's pretty good, so worse than the Netherlands. That seems like an accurate description. From what I know, I've never properly been in Copenhagen. Well, maybe when I was 7, maybe now when I was 8, but I don't remember that. Okay, now I can only left an empty one. We need only full ones, otherwise full ones will catch up to empty ones and that causes traffic jams. But being able to explore on bike mostly safely in the first place is really cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot better than other places. When I went to Friesland a few weeks ago, a friend and I, we also got bikes. Now of course that's the Netherlands, so we knew the infrastructure was good, and it was. And it's really useful to just be able to explore on a bike. do we have all this European nonsense stuff? We can make a row of British post boxes because why not? We can put a drab minaret piece, dude. Look at that, it's like little whipped cream bits that you find on top of a dessert pie. And a drummer or a jazz band member who is being harassed by an animatronic fireman. And the fireman, of course, has his own fire hydrant. I've been to loads of cities on vacation and it's always walking miles and miles using subways, buses and trams. This is new to me. Yeah, it's pretty nice probably. Wait, are these... They said they were animatronic, but I don't see them moving. It says animatronic fireman, but it's not moving, so... That one's moving. We can do some police brutality. You have turned those go-karts in the Tour de France with the Eiffel Tower. Okay. And... hang on. There's also a British postbox and a Russian rocket. Is that the Tour de Europa? Next person to exit the splash boats. Where's my splash boats? That was that one. 1210. They like water so much they can have it. Well, 1210. Die, 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 die. Ah, yes. That's satisfying, isn't it? Damn, we already got 2,000 Gesterinos. Stuff goes fast, don't it? Since when have car sprites for sloped turns? Do they actually have the sprites? I haven't looked at it yet. Because I was apparently able to build them, but... what's the soft guest cap? Low enough. Yeah, they seem to have sprites. I didn't know they had them either. Must have been a recent addition. There was a bit of glitching there, but it's pretty nice. I was gonna respond to something, but... Oh, soft guest cap. Do we still get messages about that? Yeah, 1205. But our natural gas generation is 0, because harder gas generation is on. Next to the rack. Well, it's a replica that we've got here. So, we're gonna get to that eventually. Oh, we already got a Neptune. Do we have all of these? No, we don't have a Tommy gun yet. By the way, Max, I'm working on getting like all the data from every scenario. Like how many guests are in the park, what rides are researchable, how many trees are on the plot, all that kind of stuff. Do you have any ideas for weird statistics that I might not have thought of that I could potentially collect? Keep in mind, I'm doing it automatically and I'm just writing the code in the game code itself to print it all. To extract it and print it. Okay, let's build a car ride. With black cabs. Plant tree variety. What park has the best biodiversity? I do already have one for unique scenery items, which is pretty close to unique trees. Although not entirely, of course. I'm not sure if I could actually easily do unique trees. Because if you want unique plants, but if you want to also include all the bushes, then I don't think they have like a tree identifier. Because the trees have an is tree boolean associated with them. Or something like that. I'm not sure if the bushes have that. To easily distinguish whether it's a bush or another scenery item. Oh, there should be vegetation actually. There should be vegetation, yes, because there's see-through vegetation. Although that would then also count the decorative trees. Let's just see which it counts. Just build a bunch of these. How about some cacti? And we'll do see-through vegetation. Yeah, it also counts the decorative trees, which isn't really biodiverse. But that's already kind of covered under different scenery items. You know, I don't want to make too many things that are too similar. Why not? I'll add it. Should be an easy one to add. If I'm already counting scenery items anyway. Unique items. Unique plants. Should be going to the right of trees. Well, I mean, trees and plants is like slightly different though. Cubic meters of water. I do have water tiles. I could multiply the water tile with the height that it's above the land. Oh, I just got a good one. Actually, that I do really want. Average elevation. Low point, high point. Average elevation. Yeah, why not do water amount. Volume is the correct word. Average elevation with standard deviation. I'm not going to get into standard deviations. I want to at some point also get to the video I want to make that originated all this. Cliffs could be fun to track. Also gonna be very hard to track, I think. Unless there's like an has exposed edge that I can do. That exists, but I'm not sure if that does exist. A screenshot of the map. No, it's just gonna be like, it's just gonna look like this. Like just rows and rows of data for all 160 scenarios that have ever been included in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 or 2. And we start with all the basic ones, like all the options. And then we go park statistics, you know, how many rides, park value, park rating, staff, what's available, what are researchable, Then we get to this where we have like low point, high point, average elevation, water tile, water volume, ducts, very important. Some scenery stuff, some path stuff, and then ownership stuff. You'd need to write a simple algorithm that looks like a 3x3 and maybe 5x5 kernel to detect cliffs. Yeah, but you know, it's already enough work. I'm not gonna do that. Ducks per park. Yes. Will the park size be calculated in meters squared? Just tiles. If you want it in meters squared, it's just times 10. This 291,320 meters squared is just 29,132 tiles. Ooh, Max has got one, apparently. Ducking ducks per park. No. I'm not gonna try to bother how to figure out which ducks are currently in the animation of ducking. Keep in mind that this is taking me quite a long time to do because I also have to figure out how to like read and print all that stuff, which most of which I've never done before and I don't really know C++ well. One tile is 10 meters squared. According to that statistic, yes. According to some other statistics, the length of a tile is different, so it's inconsistent. I've made a video about it. The blue giraffe is getting bullied because he's different. But then other blue giraffes are running in for reinforcement. And are going to save her. Yeah, the grey ones will not stand a chance. They're going to get their ass kicked. For all parks with the toilets, total number of past customers on the toilets. That's way too specific. I'm not even counting toilets separately. I'm just counting stalls. Because if I'm gonna have to count toilets, info kiosks, everything, it's gonna be way too much data. You know, I'm already counting gentle and thrill and stuff separately. Average toll ride throughput profit. I feel like that, I've thought about stuff like that. I feel like that's a bit too specific as well. And that'll also like change immediately. Perhaps if any rides or roller coaster can qualify for the most dazzling color scheme award. Again, that's specific to one award. Like, the reason I'm thinking about it, is the data gonna be interesting? Like, is anyone ever going to wonder, ooh, which scenarios already qualify for that award? The answer is probably none, by the way. Because you need at least 6 rides, which not many scenarios have. And there are only 4 possible colors that count. And they're not very commonly used colors necessarily. So the answer is probably none that qualify. Looping coaster, woo yeah! Now that loop coaster will ping. Yeah, I should probably raise that a bit. Probably even more. Otherwise, that will not go well. I don't think that's enough space between the path and the station to get the coaster back to the station. Oh, it's easily enough space. Trust me. More space there though. Ta-da! Even room for a photo section. And it's only 2 tiles wide. Last row photo section scam. Hell yeah. Okay, general reaction. What's your question? Ooh, these loops are gonna be painful. Still wider than the hardline. No, it's not. A lot of people don't include the entrance and exit buildings in the size of the coaster, but I do. If you look at my hardline overview, then, assuming I did that, then older hardline coasters should say 2 by something tiles, because the entrance is is an extra tile. I mean, technically 3 if you don't include the queue line, but I do not include the path. But in a lot of my designs, you also see that in the flying coaster designs, there is. Did I do it in my looping coaster designs? Let's see. Not that one. I mean, here I put them in the very middle of the ride. But very often I will have track going over the entrance and exit bit. Doesn't look like I have. Is there any other coaster I could see that with? What's a ride overview I've recently done? Wild Mice, maybe? Yes. If you look at this, why not just build it? Then you see that part of the Wild Mouse goes over this one, so that it's still just 4 tiles wide. So Ferris wheels and mazes are the only possible 1 tile wide rides. Yes. You know, you can skim on the path. You can build a ride without a queue line. You can't build a ride without an exit and an entrance building. So every ride, except those 2, is always at least 2 tiles wide. That's just the law of nature in this game. What's the only county on Earth that sits entirely above 1500 meters in elevation? That would have to be... damn it, what's it called? One inside South Africa. Lesotho. Or is it Bhutan? I'm gonna say Lesotho. If that's not, then my second answer is Bhutan. Correct, nice. Not Nepal. No, Nepal's pretty low down on one side. The lowest point nipple. 70 meters. That's basically sea level. It's Bhutan's lowest point. Oh, 97 meters. Yeah, that's not much different. If we go to, I don't know, list of countries by lowest point. Let's have a look at that. That'll be interesting. List of elevation extremes by country. So if we go to minimum elevation. No. Yes, minimum elevation. Then the minimum we get is Israel, Jordan at -440 and Palestine as well. That depends a bit on the Israel-Palestine thing, which is a minefield we're not going to get into. But you know, Dead Sea -440 meters, then -214 Syria. Yeah, you got a bunch of others that are negative. Netherlands is somewhere on here as well. We're a bit below sea level, -7. We don't even go far below sea level. And you got a bunch that are, you know, lowest are at sea level. You know, they all have the coastline, of course. A lot have the lowest at sea level. It's not just countries, also like territories and islands and stuff. And all those small islands, of course, have it at sea level. And then you get Moldova, lowest point 2 meters. It's not quite sea level. Yeah, you get lowest point 100 meters, like Austria. Oh, I didn't know that. I think I can't do it over 100 meters. Czech Republic, Luxembourg. And then you get Lesotho at 1400. Ah, not 1500. Although maybe that's just a different data set. And 950 Rwanda, Andorra, Burundi. Yeah, Andorra is in the Pyrenees, Rwanda and Rwanda are next to each other. Which US state's close to Africa? Maine. Yes, Earth. Earth is, we're not really taken into this. It's not listed at the top, it's not a country, it's not a territory, it's Earth. A lot of people say that it's like a weird counterintuitive fact that Maine is the closest to Africa. For some reason to me it wasn't. I do think I never got to answer that question without knowing the answer, because I'm pretty sure I just saw on like Reddit probably someone posting like, did you know Maine is the closest state to Africa, without ever having thought about it. So I can't say what my genuine answer would be. But it wasn't like, wait, that's weird. It was like, okay, makes sense. So yeah, that one didn't work as a very weird fact for me anyway. What them stats be? 6.68 positive G's, baby. Now that is nearly 6.67, but it's also very intense. Which country does France have the longest border with? That's gotta be Brazil. Or French Guiana. Fire all them staffs. Ooh. It's gonna be literary. Name already your choice. What are you gonna name? Veterans. Yeah, a lot of your geography fun facts I know, because I'm fairly into geography. That's also why why the channel point reward exists. Of course, there are plenty of things I don't know, but quite a few of those common fun facts I do know. You know, maybe I should build a bathroom. We only have one. For 2,500 guests. Well, not literally one toilet, it's one toilet building. But still, it's not very much. Also, thank you for the gift. It's a Marcel Ragnals. The loopings, I'm a very small looping, or very thin. I'm a very thin looping. Whoops, very thin. Would a flag question be considered geography-ish? Yeah, sure. I know quite a bit about flags too. Although if you're going like territory flags, like asking me the flag of Alberta is or something, then I don't know. I know the US state flags a bit, but I mostly know the country flags. In fact, I've done a lot of Flaggle, like a week or two ago, which I was pretty good at. I'll show you what Flaggle is. It's like Wordle, but flags. Let's do the daily Flaggle together. So, you just choose a country. Let's say we start with Netherlands. And then you guess. Okay, nothing, no color anywhere was in the correct spot. So we'll choose a different country with different colors. How about Germany? Okay, it's Germany. What the hell? What? I didn't even get to show you how this works. I went from 0 to 100%. I mean, we can play more games. We will play more games, but... We'll do... Yeah, this is my daily. I haven't done the daily too much. Apparently I've gotten them all in twice, the daily. But we can... Where's the... Yeah, practice. So this is my win ratio in practice. I've gotten 1 on the very first guess. Once, which, if I remember correctly, was Estonia. That's of course complete. Again, I've done 133. I've never lost. Most common is in 3 tries. Needed a 6 for a few. But I've never lost. So, well, let's try Netherlands again. Now we get... Okay, that's Cambodia. So, we got the overlap of the white here. So we got just the exact shape of the castle. Or whatever that is. On the Cambodian flag. So these are exactly the colors that are in the Dutch flag that are in the same space as the Cambodian flag. There you go. I guess that's supposed to be Angkor Wat. So let's do Equatorial Guinea. Why not? Let's see. Ooh, we only got 3.7% overlap. Okay, but this is Turkmenistan. Because that carpety thing is pretty sure that's from Turkmenistan. That kind of color green. You don't need an exact match. Because if you look at this, that red is not the exact same as that red. But it does need to be pretty close. Like the blue from the Luxembourg and Dutch flags are different colors. And this is quite fun. Let's try again. That's just a random flag. Malaysia. To start with. 0% overlap. Okay. How about Jamaica, which has got a lot of black, a lot of blue. No, not blue, but black, green and yellow. These colors we haven't done yet. This is the Rwanda flag, I'm pretty sure, with that sun in that position. Yes. I have it on hard mode, by the way. If you play on easy mode, then all these countries have their flag next to them. But I have to actually know it by heart. Let's start Georgia, which is, I don't think, a great one to start with, but why not? Ooh. Now that's clearly a logo in the middle that we got. But I don't immediately recognize it. We do have at least something like this thing. We have a red stripe in the middle. Let's just try South Africa. I like South Africa and Seychelles. I'm not looking at the chat at the moment. I want to do this myself. Okay, we got black there. So black probably black, red, and a white logo like that. Sometimes flags have their logo, sometimes they don't. Let's try Seychelles. Oh, yeah. The green. This is the Pan-Arabic colors. This is Afghanistan. Pretty sure this is the old Afghanistan flag. Yeah. This has not been updated with the new white Taliban Afghanistan flag. Let's do a few more. Djibouti. Now open RST2 today. Yeah, we'll get back to that. Okay, this is Malta, I'm pretty sure. That star is of course a red herring. That's not actually there. That's just because there's a star on the flag we guessed, so we didn't match the color there. But that thing on the left there is the thing from Malta, the cross from Malta. Yes. But those red herrings can be annoyingly difficult to deal with. But this is a lot of fun. If you want to learn your flags, this is an excellent resource. How about Palau, which is, well, no matches. It's a terrible flag to start with, because the blue is uncommon. It's only a small bit of yellow and no other color. Okay, let's do Seychelles. Seychelles and South Africa have a lot of colors in like a lot of different positions. Because the red goes pretty much, this is Bangladesh, the red goes pretty much all the way from bottom left to top right. So wherever, if it's a stripe, wherever it is, you'll get a match. So that works very well. Nepal, yeah, you can do the Nepal flag. I've had the Nepal flag before, which was the easiest thing ever. Because the shape. All the others are resized to be to be this aspect ratio rectangle, but Nepal was not resized, obviously. So I guessed some kind of flag. And then it just showed me the outline of the shape of Nepal. Here, of course, we see that outline as well, but so we got a red stripe, then a blue stripe, presumably. Doesn't have to be a stripe, but probably. Red, blue. Is it Russia? No, Russia has white on the top, doesn't it? What goes red, blue? Slovakia, Slovenia, I think goes red, white, blue. Let's try France, just to see if they're properly lines. Yes. Is there red, blue, green, red, blue, yellow? I don't think so. Red, blue, black? I don't think so either. Okay, let's try Jamaica. Because it's got a lot of colors at the bottom. Oh. Huh. That's Armenia. See, this yellow doesn't entirely match up, but it's close enough. And the reason I went for Jamaica is because it got black, yellow, and green on the bottom third. So I would probably get a match, and if I didn't, it would most likely... No, it wouldn't be white, because we already used France. But you, of course, do need to know your flags, and this is a lot of fun. So I can recommend that to anyone who likes flags and stuff. Oh, crap. It's been 11 minutes since we fired all the staff. But yeah, I enjoy flying a lot, and at some point I will lose. There was one, I needed 6 tries, 5 times. And there was one of them where it took me so long. I had to like go through all the flags. Didn't actually see them, of course, but through the list of countries. And just, is it that flag, is it that flag, is it that flag? I think eventually it turned out to be Zambia. Which was hard. The flag is quite unique, but it was hard because I had extremely little matches. Like I saw very little of the flag. Ground guest 520. No, they're still around. You're in luck. Your death wish shall be fulfilled. Yeah, the color matching has some tolerance, which makes sense, because like France and the Netherlands are obviously red, white, blue, both of them. But France has a darker blue than the Netherlands, but it's not very much darker. I mean, Chad and Romania, for crying out loud, have technically a different blue. So if you don't allow matches like that, then it's going to be very hard to get any matches at all. Of course, you need to pick your flags wisely. And the reason I like Seychelles, as I said, is because the stripes are going over a lot of real estate. Technically, there's less red on Seychelles than on the Netherlands, but the Seychelles is a diagonal, so there's a larger chance you're gonna match than on the Netherlands with the red, and that's why I like it. Below 300k loan. How about a Steplagase? How heavy are these vehicles? $800. Okay, so the wooden one, this one, the wooden stagehouse thing was 2100-ish, which is ridiculously heavy. I need to tell Maggie about that. Maybe he knows more about weird weights. I'm still confident that that's the heaviest car that exists. Honestly, that could also go in a video about weird... Okay, I should actually check how fast it goes there. That could also go in a video about weird wee TT things. It only goes slightly above 60 there. You know what, we can take that. We can use the extra intensity from the extreme laterals. Why not? Which 6 historical nations do the flags of Six Flags represent? Texas, Mexico, California, UK, USA, French. I probably got only like 2 of them right. Probably Texas and Mexico. But we'll see. We got 4 right. It's Texas, USA, France, Spain, Mexico, and the Confederacy. Really, the Confederacy? Oh, that's right. We got quarter helices, which we can't use right there, but look, quarter helix up. We'll do the other way because we can actually use it there. Look, ain't that cool? I didn't expect to get 4 right. That's pretty good going. Drink some water. Yes, sir. Yeah. Do you know anything about Disney parks? No. I know extremely little about Disney parks. I've never been to Disneyland. There's one in Paris, so, you know, could have been close by, but reasonably close by. But no, never been. And I find it quite weird that apparently in America it's a very big thing taking your kid to Disney and stuff like that. While here, it just isn't. Like, some people go, plenty of people go, but it's not like that's a important thing that you necessarily need to have been. Then again, of course, that's just a cultural thing. I'm not saying that's bad, I'm just saying I found it odd. I do find one thing interesting, and that's the notion that the reason Americans like Disneyland so much is because it's one of the very few places they can be in a walkable place. Where you don't have cars everywhere, where you can actually walk to stuff. College campuses are another one. Now, I don't know how much of that is a meme and how much of that is actually like has a significant impact. I'm not sure if it's ever been studied, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. Disney was my special interest for decades. Disney in the 90s went through extreme shitification, and that's what got reported to Europe to exported to Europe. The Euro Disneyland is hot garbage. I've never been there, so I wouldn't be able to say, but I do like that it's your special interest, because, you know, we all got... No, that's not true. Quite a few people, mostly autistic people, have got a hyper-specific interest. I'm not saying you are autistic, but, you know, I am, and I've got two hyper-specific interests, so I can say that. And... No, I don't want a circus. It's always very interesting when someone's got a hyper-specific interest. There's a guy at the board games night I go to sometimes, who is very interested in public transit, trains and stuff, which is, you know, autistic and trains is a very common combination. Now, I have no idea if he's autistic or not, but he's very interested in public transit. So I asked him, okay, cool, but how does that? What do you do around it? Like, what do you're interested in it, but what do you do? And he said, well, last weekend I went to station Donrijp. Because it's the smallest station in the Netherlands and no other reason. Now that is the thing I like. I like when people have interests like that. Openers 2, geography and speed skating makes 3. I wouldn't say geography is as much my special interest. Like, I know quite a bit about it, but if you compare it to speed skating and Roller Coaster Tycoon, it's basically just a small-time hobby. And not really a special interest. Where the hell am I gonna put the entrance on this? I kind of forgot that I needed an entrance. Okay, that'll do. Who's your favorite speed skater? Currently Femke Kok. of all time, I would say Irene Wüst. But Wüst is now retired, so, you know, not speed skater anymore. Although she still is an analyst, so it's very nice to still see her. She's a very good analyst as well. You know, I'm quite a fan of everyone. I'm not one who's just for the Dutch skaters. But it is a lot easier to be a super fan of Dutch skaters because we get so much more info. You know, we get more interviews. We see them also at the Dutch competitions in action. We get more backstories. So you naturally know more about them. Okay, sorry if everyone already knows this. I might be a broken clock saying this, but this clock actually tells the time. Look at it. That's the small thing. It's pointing to the 9, slightly above it. That's the big thing. It's pointing to the 23. It's currently 23 past 9 where I live. It actually tells the time, and if you wait long enough, you'll see it move. Which is amazing. Oh, look at that super golden bling bling. Can you make the path around the clock a square? Sure. And then behind it we get the silver bling bling. Oh, we can't color the bling bling inside. Well, you don't see the bling bling from this angle anyway. Did we get any vandalized stuff? Yes. Well, we had no staff. Oh, look at those benches. Oh, those were different benches. Well, whatever. I think that was all the vandalized. Nope, there's still one. That's not the bin that I replaced it with, but who cares? Yeah, you do this with highlight path issues under the eye. Which is particularly useful. It's an OpenRST2 feature. And I like it a lot. Where are you with the depth? I'm on like 200k. I could also just complete this today and then move on to a different scenario next time, but then we haven't really made use of the Titanic. What would you guys like? Fast forward and continue this, because we have the park value we need. Or expand this into a massive park. So fast forward and beat it today and do something else next time. Or expand this into a massive park. Expand, massive park, expand. Massive is good. Yeah, I know massive is good. Massive Park, Embiggen. Nico is Thorn. That's the only one we've gotten so far that's like, maybe something different next time. All the other ones are like, I want it now and I want it big. Well, I want it next time and I want it big. I'll make it as big as I can for your pleasure. How about the final coaster for the night? Spiral coaster. Oh, I quite like this setup of doing the spiral slip thing and then a steep turn. Yeah, you're only 6 wide. Well, 7 kind of if you do impersonate it, but... You know, it's quite compact. Also, another thing, you know, considering I count the enters and exit as the width. My laydown coaster that had interlocking loops was still 6 wide if you count that. If you count the enters and exit building. Can you cross through the lift tower? No. It's not enough space for it, I believe. I mean, 6 and 12, it should kind of work. I think you can put like maybe another lift in between. Not sure. You can at least, you should be able to go fully through it, right? Intertwined lifts. I do remember trying that at some point and it not working. Maybe because the station was in the way. Isn't that a pre-construct too? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And no, apparently not, but the one in what's it called? Tycoon Park has it, pretty sure. The one with the towers. Isn't that like a junior coaster? Okay, no, that one does have towers, but these are kind of interlocked. Like that one goes there, that one goes there. Those are kind of interlocked. But hang on, I'm just going to see. If we do... Yeah, you can build... Okay, yeah, that bit's in the way, but you can build another chain lift through here. How do you use the regular chain lift on the spiral coaster? You mentioned OpenRT2 added them in your ride overview. Yeah, they removed them since. I'm pretty sure that adding them was not intentional. You know, when I made those videos, which is a long time ago, I was not nearly as thorough or as knowledgeable even about OpenRT2. The Spiral Helix, yeah, it does have them. They're a bit big, but for this design, but you can use them. I've always found it odd that you can't set the chain of speed for the spiral coaster. It kind of does make more sense than at least the flying coaster. Because the flying coaster has a normal chain lift and this is at least a different, like, unique track piece. They go 11, which is fast enough. Spiral coaster goes always 6 in vanilla. Open fixed that, you can set it in open on the spot on the heat on the flying, but in vanilla the flying always goes only 6 on the chain lift because you can't change it. Same goes for in classic, by the way. You know what? We shall build. It's actually... Do I have that the same? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the same design. Yes. Look, we got the same design back to back. I've been really enjoying placing the right exit and entrance on the same side of the track, so it's more compact and makes synchronized stations easy. Did you used to place them on opposite sides? I rarely ever do that. Like, that was never the default for me. Interesting. I find it so very interesting how with those kind of mundane things can still signify very different playstyles that people have, without even necessarily thinking about it. Like, I never thought about, should I place them on the same side or not. I just kind of did what I did. Do you have to press shift to draw a path that way? No, there's just a button for that. The bottom button in OpenRCT2. Wee! 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 You can do this with fences too, you know? Wee! You can use it in combination with shift too. Like if I do that, I can build it in the air. And you can do the same with path. That's expensive. I would like coast type of 10 inversion. The stream has kind of ended, so I'll refund your channel points. Because I'm not going to do that right now. Or, I will not refund them and you have to remind me to build this next time. I will be live again on Sunday, same time as today. If you remind me, I will build that. Or if I remember myself. So, that is indeed gonna be it for today. Just refund them. Alright. To figure out how to do that, but that'll be fine. Usually there's a mod around to do that for me, but not today. So, I want to thank you very much for watching this. I'll be here again, as I said, on Sunday. And now I'm going to see who I can raid. Lady Van, that's a Dutch channel. Ah, oh Fiddlesticks. Or Infinifox. Blind playthrough of Rollercoaster Tycoon 1. Well, I find that interesting. Apparently also Cozy. Wow, would you look at that. Let's raid Infinifox, who is playing around with the Ducks cheat. From the looks of it. Right, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. I'll send you to Infinifox. Have fun there, if you like. And I bid you a goodbye and a sleep at night. See ya!